Hello and welcome to another video here with flightsim. Today I thought we'll take the Inibuilds A321LR for a spin here in Europe, and before we get started I would like to take a look around the aircraft, just show you guys how well done this default Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 aircraft really is. So if we come around here to the nose area, we can see the textures in typical Inibuilds fashion is absolutely beautiful stuff, right? All around the aircraft is just absolutely gorgeous textures. Look at that, everything is so sharp, and yep, in the department of textures this aircraft really stands out, and considering it's default aircraft, I think it's really good. I don't think enough people fly the A321 that's default in Microsoft Flight Simulator. But this one definitely impressed me, so I thought I'd do a flight with it today and make a little recording. So yeah, look at the details on that. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Yep, if we come to the landing gear, maybe it's missing a few cables here in the landing gear. Oh, they're there. They just don't show up correctly. Yep. So they're there, but they don't show up correctly. Maybe when we're not in walk around mode, we'll have a look at that. But yeah, all around the aircraft looks very good. So without further delay, we're gonna go ahead and jump in here, take ourselves from Munich in Germany to Barcelona in Spain, and we'll be flying the Lufthansa livery, 600th Airbus aircraft livery. So yeah, this is a real world flight operated by the A321, not the newer version, the normal A321 though. Nonetheless, that's all right. We'll hop in and get the flight started. Just to clarify, the cables do show up when you're out of walk around mode, and when you go a little further from the aircraft they do show up. They just don't show up when you're really close to it. So apart from that, no real issues here. Today's airport is Munich here in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and this is the default airport that I'm using. No other additional stuff. Obviously I've got runway light enhancement and taxi light enhancement installed from the marketplace, but besides that everything else is pretty much default here at Munich, and it is a handcrafted airport, and I have to say it is done pretty decently. Okay, the airport does not look too bad at all for a default airport. It seems to have just enough detail for us to be able to enjoy this scenery quite well here on our flights. I don't think the interior is modeled, but you know, all these areas are modeled here, which is really nice. If we come inside, it's probably not modeled. Yeah, it's not, but you know, not the worst at all, and I'm not complaining. But yeah, having some sort of interior modeling can help bring the airport to life, but it doesn't look bad on the whole. So yep, just a quick look at our airport before we jump into the aircraft and get on out of here. Overall, looks very good. Looks very good. Okay. Alright, we've got our aircraft here in cold and dark inside the cockpit. So without further delay, let's go ahead and energize here. Battery 1, battery 2, external power here, switch on, crew supply on. Ground control for the recorders on there, IRS to nav, all three systems. Got emergency lights, let's arm them. Nav lights to position number 1, strobe to automatic. Let's get our passenger signs up and running, just like that, and there we go, pretty much. Yep, that's it for now, and we can go into the tablet now and download our sim brief information for today. We're flying from Munich to Barcelona. Let's go to our payload information, get that from SimBrief as well. Now I'll apply the load here momentarily, and you'll see why I do that in just a second as we head over here to the McDo menu, clear all of that stuff, go to the FMGC, and then we're gonna go to init, gonna request that. There we go. We're going to go over to the next page and we're going to put in the information just like this. And that's the reason why I loaded the aircraft up, just to get this done. Now, before we go any further, let's come back here. We can, well, For some reason, GSX doesn't really work for me with this aircraft, so I'm not going to really load anything using GSX apart from the passengers. The fuel, I'm just going to leave it exactly the way it is, and that's how we're going to do it today. So we're going to request boarding from GSX, and then we're going to continue with our FMC setup here. So GSX, let's request boarding, and let's do that. Okay, that should get our jetway connected and stuff here moving around. Okay, as we can see, the jetway is being connected and ground services are coming into position. Got the GPU still connected and passengers will be boarding shortly. We got our fuel for today done and we are ready to continue on with our FMGC setup here. We're not going to attach the pushback just yet. Perfect. Okay, we've got the takeoff performance calculator here. Let's go ahead and calculate what we need to. There we go, all done right there. We can now continue with our FMGC setup here. Into EDDM, we're going to be taking off from runway 26 right today. And for that, we're going to be using the Turb 7N departure right there. We're going to insert that. Into Barcelona today, we're going to be using 24 right. Let's see what ILS we have for 24 right. Let's use ILS Y24 right. And our arrival is going to be Bisb to Zulu. We'll put that in there. We can insert that as well. Clear up all of that. Let's go to our flight plan. Make sure we don't have any discontinuities here, which we actually don't, and it should be good enough for us. We could check the map thing here, but I'm not going to do that just yet. So all of that is done. Let's go to performance. Before we go any further, let's go pick up what we need to from the EFB that we have included here. So flex temperature 53, 0.1 down, and we'll send all of that to our FMGS as well. Flex temperature 53. Flaps 1, 0.1 down for our THS. That's done. 151, 158, and 161. That is all done there, ladies and gentlemen. We can confirm our takeoff data, and that's pretty much it for now. The rest of the stuff we'll do as we fly along. All right, so that finishes our FMGC stuff, and let's go ahead and get our APU started up here, because we need to give our passengers some air conditioning, so to speak. So we'll turn that on. Hopefully passenger boarding is happening with GSX. We can double check that right here. Yes, it is. 200 passengers today. Okay, local pressure is 1013, and is that correct? That is not correct. That is not the correct local pressure today. Let me check the weather. We're not live. There we go. We're not live. Now we're live. Let's see the local pressure. There we go. 1025 is the correct pressure. Perfect. Flight directors on, please, on both sides, and that gives us manage mode on speed and heading. Our cruising altitude for today is supposed to be 35,000 feet. Let's do that quickly. There we go. 35,000 feet should not be an issue for us. There we go. If we come down to the FMS, I forget what I put as my cost index for today. 5. That's not acceptable. Let's do 50. Okay, let's do 50. Let's go back to performance. All of that is fine. Yep. Okay. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. Now while we're here, let's go towards plan mode, just to make sure that we have everything exactly the way we should, and that our plan is actually looking decent. Just to make sure there are no issues with the flight plan. So we're just going to check that. And yep, all good. Perfection. Let's put that into nav mode for takeoff. We'll put our range up here for takeoff. And we're pretty much ready, ladies and gentlemen. Now we just have to wait for boarding to finish up. And once that's done, we can request pushback and get on out of here. Alright, we've got our jetway disconnecting, and marshalers have come out here. Are they called marshalers or marshals? Anyway, we got our pushback about to be attached. We're going to let that happen here. Gonna prepare ourselves for pushback. So let's jump back into the cockpit here. Let's turn on all our fuel pumps. We are going to... what else do we need to do? Let's turn on our beacon lights in advance. Why not? And yeah, ready to pretty much get ourselves started up as soon as pushback attaches itself. So we're just going to wait for that. Okay. All right, we're going to wait for this. All right, we're going to go nose to the right here. Let's release our parking brake right there. And we should begin pushing back. Yes, sir. Okay, that is cool. Let's go towards engine start here. Everything is looking good for engine start. Yes, it is. And let's start with engine number... you know what? We'll start with number 1 today. Okay, there we go. Oh, we need to put that into idle. Forgot about that completely. Anyway. Okay, done with that. Alright, let's go ahead and start up engine number 2 here as well. There we go, available. Let's go towards engine number 2. Check that out. Before we need to put the parking brakes on here. Let's do that. Okay. Perfect. There we go. That's all looking pretty good. So we're just gonna wait for our nose wheel steering here to be there we go. That's all done. Let's go there. Get rid of that. Okay, come back down here. We need to turn on our weather. So we'll put that on system 1. We shall... what else do we need to do? Let's put all of that there. That's all fine. Very good. If we come here to our ATC, we need to go to automatic there. We will okay, we'll switch these two on as we come to our runway. Let's drop our flaps to position number 1. We'll take a look at that. Whoops, did I go to the wrong view? Yep, there we go. Flaps dropping. Alright, that's fine. Not a lot of sound there for the flaps if I'm not... or can I just not hear it? I don't know. Okay, we're going to put our taxi light up there. We'll put this to position number 2. Besides that, we're pretty much ready to go. We can turn off that, turn off the APU there. You can put the ignition back to normal as well. Everything else is looking pretty much exactly how it should. Let's put our auto brake to maximum. Ground spoilers armed, parking brake released, and we are taxiing on our way to runway... what is it again? I completely forgot. 26R? Yeah, runway 26R, which is straight up ahead, off to the right, and we will be at 26R in no time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I shall catch you as we come in towards the end of the taxi here. And then we'll line up and get ourselves up and ready to get on out of here. Okay, we are just short of our departure runway here. So let me go ahead and do the necessary here. Nose light to take off, strobe lights there, landing lights on. Anything else we need to do here? Runway turn off lights, we don't really need them today. TCAS can come to TARA and that on as well. Okay, with that, we're pretty much ready to get on out of here. So yeah. Perfect. So let's go ahead and perform this takeoff. I think we'll do a rolling takeoff today, perhaps. Let's see. Let's go. Let's throttle up a little bit. Let's get on out of here. Beautiful view on this side. Beautiful view on the other side. That's okay. It's not the best, but it's okay. All right. Ready to get ourselves up and out of here. Gonna be using flex today? Yes, we're supposed to. Have more than enough runway room available. And let's go for takeoff. Looking good. Looking good. Oh. We have a rudder runaway issue there. Okay, no issues. I don't know what's going on today. It's acting a bit weird. But anyway. There you go. That was a bit weird. But we're on our way, and I seem to have control at the moment, so that's good. Runway is very, very bumpy. Yeah. Very uneven. Okay, and let's go. Positive rate, gear up. There we go, very nice. Beautiful. Climbing way too steeply. But we do have extra power available to us. Okay, let's give it off to the autopilot here. Make sure our thrust lever is on climb, and it is. Very good. There we go, ladies and gentlemen, leaving behind Munich. Let's disarm that. Let's put our flaps up here. What else do we need to do? We can turn off our nose lights. And there we are. Leaving behind Munich. Looking good. Looking good. Alright, let me head back into the cockpit there. We're a little low on speed there, and I don't know what our autopilot is exactly doing at the moment. Maybe we're too soon to put up our flaps and slats there, but it's okay. I think we're all right, kind of. Okay, QNH, let's put that to standard on both sides. Just gotta wait for 10,000 feet pretty much to... Uh-oh. Just gotta wait for 10,000 feet pretty much. Okay, there we go. Speed has increased now. Yeah, I put those flaps up way too soon right there. Landing lights are still on, obviously. But yeah, we'll turn them off at 10,000 feet. Sorry, beat. Excuse me. But for now, we're looking good as we fly out of Munich, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how that looks. We are coming up on 10,000 feet here, 9,600 and change, so we can go ahead and switch off and retract our landing lights there, turn off all seat belts and no smoking signs to automatic. And anything else we need to do here? Absolutely not. Everything else is looking good. Yes, it is. In terms of down here, the panel here, we got everything going as it should. Nothing out of order, all clear here on the ECAM. Anything else we need to do? No, not really. Let's go ahead and push up our range on both of these so we have a better idea of how our route is going to look. Okay, as we fly on towards Barcelona. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I think that's pretty much it for us to do. We're just going to go on to a cruising altitude of 35,000 feet. And nothing else to do after that, apart from as we come into our approach and descend, and we'll go through how we're going to do this today. But before I leave you guys here, let me show you an overview of today's route, something I should have done while we were on the ground, but nonetheless, better late than never there. So we've taken off from runway 26R here in Munich. We've taken a left-hand turn. And that is our route that takes us towards Barcelona El Prat here in Spain on the east coast of Spain there. So we're going to perform a right turn at the waypoint of Bacor, and that's basically what's going to take us in the direction of Barcelona. But for now, we are flying almost directly south. Okay, from Munich. We're going to cross over a couple of European countries on the way into Spain. Okay, just an overview of our route for today. And into Barcelona, we are going to be using the ILS today. We are going to be using ILS into runway 24 right as we try to land, but more on that as we cross top of descent. So I shall leave that here for now. And I'll show you guys a couple of views along the way. Apart from that, I shall catch you near top of descent. All right. right, welcome back into the cockpit here, and we are roughly 20 nautical miles away from our top of descent, as you can tell right here. And we need to go ahead and check what our final altitude for today is going to be. And if we take a look at our FMC here, that is supposed to be around 2,300 feet. So we're going to go ahead and set that into our altitude. Then we're gonna go check our destination data. We're a little late to the party, but that's okay. Let's do that. There we go. Let's go back to the FMC here, check our destination data, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're not gonna activate this just yet. QNH at our destination today, which is El Prat, Barcelona. It is 10:17. Let's go ahead and input that, clear that. 10:17 right here. Our wind at Barcelona, 80 degrees, 7 knots. So let's put that in. Perfect. Temperature in Barcelona is 31 degrees. So a warm day there. We're going to use minimums 200, which is my standard go-to. Radio altimeter 200. We're going to land with full, and that is good. Approach speed at 131, landing speed at 126. That is fine. We'll activate approach once we are closer to our destination. Now in the nav radio here, we need to go ahead and set up the ILS frequency and all of that. We'll do that in just a minute as soon as we command the descent here. All right, we're not going to turn on any lights or any of that just yet. We're going to hold on a little bit. Maybe we can put our auto brake here to low in advance. That's fine. Let's go ahead and command that descend. There we go. We are beginning our descent down to flight level 120, where we have a little altitude restriction there. So let me have a look at how this looks like. Performance, we'll leave that here. Flight plan, we'll leave that here. Let me go ahead and pick up our ILS frequency and course for El Prat, Barcelona. All right, so frequency is 109.50, and our course is supposed to be 244, and that's pretty much it. Okay, there we go. That seems to have worked exactly the way it should have. Hopefully it is. If we come up here to our radio nav here and ILS, it's not allowed. Oh, come on. Oh, so we can't do it from here. Yeah, we can't. All right, so we're gonna have to do it from here, which we did. So 109.50. Identifier is BCA 109.50, and course is 250. So that should work. Hopefully it does. All right, in the meantime, let's come up here. Our descent is going as it should. Aircraft is having a little bit of a trouble there holding our speed down. That's interesting. I don't know why it's descending so quickly. But yeah, we've got estimated fuel on board below minimum. That's fine as well. We'll be okay, hopefully. So everything is going as planned. Now, I'll take this time to show you guys our arrival. So here we are. Our arrival starts here at the waypoint of Bibza, or Bisba. Sorry, my bad. Bisba. And that's our arrival procedure right here. And then we've got our ILS, which we're gonna catch around BL7 EN or Tebla, somewhere there. We're gonna be at 2,300 feet anyway. And then into Barcelona, where we shall taxi and park at any one of these stands here. That is the goal. Let's see how that goes. But yeah, we're not too far away now, as you can tell. So we're gonna continue our descent here. And yeah, I shall catch you as we come in closer towards our ILS approach. All right. Our speed is dropping there quite rapidly. I don't know where we're going with our speed, but yeah, it's okay. It's fine. All right, I shall catch you as we come in for our approach, or at least as we pass 10,000 feet. Yeah, I'll catch you as we pass 10,000 feet. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming down on towards 10,000 feet here, just about 100 feet above it. So let's go ahead and turn on our landing lights, which we can do as such. We'll wait for the nose light once we lower our landing gear. We can go ahead and put our seatbelt signs and no smoking signs to completely on there. So we've got that going for us. We've got ground spoilers armed in advance, auto brakes ready. Our flaps are still pretty much up, slats are pretty much up, and that's okay for now. We're going at 250 knots, under 10,000 feet. Everything is looking okay for the time being. We just adjust the range on that. There we go. Not too long to go now towards our destination. Okay. So yeah, let's continue on our descent here, and we will be on our approach, and we need to activate this, and we'll do that just in a bit. Okay, we'll continue our descent for the time being. All right, we're just about crossing our transition altitude here. We've dipped below 5,000 feet. So let's go ahead and turn that to local pressure, which should be 1018. Let me double check that. That is about correct. Yeah. So we're fine on that. Okay. That is looking good for us. We are heading towards Tebla, where we're expected to begin our descent. The glide slope should start there. So we'll go ahead and get that ready once we turn in towards our runway here, which is 24 right. Okay. So I shall catch you as we cross in towards Tebla. All right, here we go. I'm going to turn on localizer here and approach mode as well. Let me just turn on approach mode directly. There we go. Let's see if it catches anything. Let's see if that works. Should I turn on auto land? You know what? I'm going to turn off auto land. Let's go to LS on that. Reduce the range on that. Let me see if it actually works. Okay, waiting for us to catch the glide slope here. Let's drop our flaps. A couple of notches there. Why isn't our flap dropping? Okay, let's do that. There we go. Flaps are dropping. Perfect. Oh, wrong view for the flap. There we go. Brilliant. Our flaps are dropping, and it is... Yep. Okay, that's good. Come back out here. We still don't have glide slope on our side. Okay, glide slope should be coming up any second, and we need to get ready to drop our gear. Flaps to 3. Go ahead and set this to taxi now, because we're about to drop our landing gear any second. Everything else is looking good for our landing. Sky dolly is running for our replay. Everything is looking good, and let's go to flaps full, and let's go and drop our gear. So let's do that. There we go. Gears are dropping. Looking pretty good. Little wobbly here, but I'm not too worried about it. All right. Okie dokie. Head back in here. Still don't have a... Okay, we have glide slope now. We finally have glide slope. That's good. But I don't know if it's actually... Yeah, it is working, right? Yeah, it's working. Okay. We're good, ladies and gentlemen. We are good. We are good, and we are ready to land, apart from the cabin that I'm not worried about. Okay. I'm not going to do an auto land today. I don't even know if the auto land works on this. We're just going to go in and land manually. I'll take control at about 1,000 feet because it does seem a little choppy today. So let's see how this goes. Yeah, it's quite choppy today. Autopilot is having a hard time. holding that glide slope for some reason, so it's not going to be an easy landing apparently. Should I take control a little bit in advance to get used to the aircraft? I think so, huh? Alright, so I'm going to take control here by disconnecting the... There we go.
1000.
My aircraft. Oh, we're coming in a little funny here. The wind is definitely not on our side today. I don't know what it is. There's something off. The wind itself is not too bad. We have a tailwind component too. Anyway, let's see how this goes. Cabin is the only thing that's not ready, but apart from that, I think we're pretty ready for landing. Okay, let's see how this goes. Okay, gonna proceed there.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. Retard. Retard.
Okay. There we go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Barcelona. All right. Nice and easy here. Come off the reverse there. And auto brake is already disarmed. That's beautiful. Okay, welcome to Barcelona. Let's try and turn ourselves off right here and find ourselves a parking, but we are going to have landing replay before that. So let's go ahead and check that out. Let's go ahead and check that out. Okay. Great. All right, time for landing replay.
Retard. Retard. Retard.
All right, that wasn't too terrible, and now we're just gonna go ahead and park our aircraft into any one of these gates. Then we'll take a quick look around the airport, and we shall wind it up here for today. But we'll definitely take a look at the airport before we close up today's video. So let's see how that goes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Let's go ahead and shut down our engines. Got APU running. There we go. All right, let's go up here and connect our ground power unit. Let's do that right away. Toggle our GPU. Let's go to our GSX. Ask for deboarding. Right there, and that one right there. Let's remove that once again. There we go. Jetway is coming up to meet us. Let's see, what else can we turn off here? Nose light, that can come off. That can come off. Beacon can come off. Nav lights can remain. That can come off. Emergency lights can come off. What else? We can have a crew oxygen supply to off. We can turn our IRS systems or ADIRS systems off. We can turn off majority of the fuel pumps there. We can actually connect to external power if we wanted to. And yeah, we can also turn these off too. We can actually go ahead and turn everything off here. There we go. So we're now on external power with everything else pretty much turned off. Exactly the way it should be. Okay. We've got our passengers deboarding as well. If it will reach, and it won't. Okay. So yeah, I parked a little short, but that's okay. All right. So pretty much we are done for the day. And the jetway will refuse to connect here. Plus I've got, I don't think I have the GSX profile for this installed. So I'm not really complaining. That's fine. That is perfectly fine. Okay. Let's now go ahead and take a look at the airport scenery in general. All right. Okay, so yeah, I need to install the GSX profile for this scenery, and I forget who the developer of this scenery is, but it might be LVFR. As you can tell, it's definitely not the quality of some of the other airport scenery that we have available. Definitely nothing compared to the quality of Inibuilds usually. And the airport itself, it's all right. It's nothing to write home about per se. It's not terrible by any means. So yeah, I think this scenery is on sale at the moment. The interior is somewhat modeled. There's some sort of an attempt. But yeah, you can see out like that. From the outside, you can't see much in. Maybe at nighttime, it's a bit different. However, there is that terminal there, which actually doesn't look too bad from this distance. The rest of the airport it's okay. Yeah, it's not the best. It's not the worst per se. It definitely has enough scenery to be immersive enough for flying purposes. Yeah, I really need to get the GSX installed here. I forget who exactly the developer for this is. I will double check on that, and I'll probably put that in the description. Yeah, I'll put that in the description. But as you can see, the terminal this side, the main one, looks much more detailed. Yeah, it looks much more detailed and well modeled, and you can see the interiors as well. This one looks much better. Yep, I think that's yeah, there we go. That is much better. Yes, that is exactly the level of detail I would want in an airport right there. Just enough interior detail so that it looks lively from the outside, which is the whole point, right? So yeah, the outside is actually modeled pretty decently. Yep, that is a good scenery right there. It's not too terrible at all. All right, so I shall put the developer's name in the description. This is the scenery that I have installed from the marketplace actually for El Prat, Barcelona, which is not too bad at all. We happen to have parked at that terminal over there, which is not as well modeled as this one, but yeah, it's definitely a good one. We should have probably come over here and parked. There's a Lufthansa A320 right here. Is that an A320 or A319? I don't know what that is, but there is a Lufthansa A320 Neo right here. We should have probably parked here and would have enjoyed the scenery much more. But anyway, nonetheless, it's It's a good one right here. Yep, definitely looks great. Okay. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and little flight over from Munich to Barcelona. If you did, please leave a like, consider subscribing to the channel. Keep me motivated to make more of these videos. Once again, thank you for watching. And I shall catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.